Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're heading into the kitchen, but not for food. We're going to break down the magic of music. We all feel it, but what are the actual ingredients? Let's find out. You know that feeling when a song just hits you? It feels like magic, right? Pure emotion. But what if I told you it's actually built from just a handful of core, tangible parts, and understanding them can completely change the way you listen? And honestly, the best way to wrap your head around it is to think of it like a recipe. Seriously, a killer song is just like an amazing meal. It might seem so complex, so magical, but at the end of the day, it's really just a few fundamental ingredients combined in a totally brilliant way. All right, so welcome to our musical kitchen. In this explainer, we're going to be master chefs. We're laying out every single ingredient on the counter before we even think about starting to cook. First up, we've got the most essential components of all, rhythm and pitch. Think of these as the flour and water for a recipe. You literally can't make music without them. Everything, and I mean everything, is built right on top of this foundation. So, what exactly is rhythm? Well, simply put, it's the when. It's all about how sounds are arranged in time. Rhythm is the thing that makes you tap your foot or nod your head. It's the heartbeat of a track, the pulse that gives it all its momentum and life. This quote gives us a perfect real-world example. Just picture it, soldiers marching. That steady thump, thump, thump of the big drum, that's the beat. And the speed they're marching at, whether it's super fast or kind of slow, that's the tempo. It's a really simple idea, but it's how rhythm takes sound and organizes it into this powerful, predictable pattern that we can all feel. Okay, so if rhythm is the when, then pitch is the what. It's just how high or low a sound is. That's it. Every single note you hear, from a super deep bass guitar all the way up to a high-pitched flute, has a specific pitch, and these are the actual musical tones that we then organize into scales. And yeah, those notes get arranged into what we call scales. Now, most of the music you hear on the radio or in movies, Western pop and classical stuff, uses the 7-note diatonic scale. That's your classic do-re-mi. But so much other music from around the world uses a 5-note pentatonic scale, and it creates a completely different vibe. You'll hear it in everything from traditional Chinese folk music to American blues. See? It's the same basic principle, just with slightly different ingredients to create a totally unique flavor. Okay, so we've got our flour and water down. That's rhythm and pitch. Now it's time to add the real flavor. We're talking about melody and harmony. This is the sauce and the spice, the stuff that gives a song its emotional character. Melody is, well, it's the star of the show, isn't it? It's that sequence of notes played one after another that gets stuck in your head for days. It's the tune, the main voice, the part of the song you actually sing or hum along to in the car. You can think of it as the horizontal part of music. It's always moving forward through time. So how do you even build a melody? Well, it usually starts with a tiny musical idea called a motif. Like think of the first 4 notes of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Da-dum-bum-dum-dum. That's a classic motif. Then you take those little ideas, you repeat them, change them up, and you build them into a complete musical sentence, which we call a phrase. And a lot of the time, these phrases have this really cool question and answer feel, creating a little tension before giving you that satisfying resolution. Now, while melody is moving horizontally, harmony is all about the vertical. It's what happens when you play different notes at the exact same time. This is what creates that rich, full sound that supports the melody. Like when a guitarist is strumming a chord while the singer is carrying the tune? Yep, that's harmony in action. The building blocks of harmony are called chords. And the simplest, most common one is a triad. Don't let the name scare you. It's just 3 notes stacked on top of each other, a bass note called the root, plus a 3rd and a 5th note above it. Honestly, almost all the harmony you hear in popular music is built from these simple but really powerful triads. So we have our ingredients. Awesome. But how does a chef share their recipe with other cooks so they can make the dish too? Well, that's where notation comes in. It's the written language of music, the recipe card that tells a musician exactly what to play. Now, I know reading music can look super intimidating, but the absolute basics are actually pretty simple. You've got the staff, which is just those 5 lines. Then at the very beginning, you have the clef, which is just a symbol that tells you what the notes on those lines are named. And from there, it's easy. A note's vertical position tells you its pitch. The higher it is on the staff, the higher the note sounds. Simple as that. So the vertical position is pitch. But what about the rhythm? Well, that's determined by the shape of the note. This table shows the value, or duration, of different notes. A whole note, for instance, is held for 4 beats, while a quarter note is held for just 1. This is how the recipe tells the musician exactly how long to hold each ingredient. The recipe also includes cooking instructions, if you will, like tempo, which is just the overall speed of the song. Musicians use these cool Italian terms for this. So if you see largo, it means play very slowly. Andante is like a nice, steady walking pace. And allegro means fast and lively. This one word sets the entire mood for the piece. And finally, dynamics, which is just a fancy word for volume. You've got piano for soft and forte for loud. But the real magic is in the change. An instruction like crescendo tells the musician to gradually get louder, building up tension and excitement. This control over volume is where so much of music's emotional power really comes from. Okay, so let's step back. We've laid out all our ingredients on the counter. We have rhythm, pitch, melody, and harmony, and we even have the recipe card that tells us how to combine them. Now, let's talk about the finished dish, the actual experience of listening. It really is amazing when you think about it. Just 4 core elements are the foundation for nearly every piece of music ever created, from a symphony to a pop song. They seem like such simple ingredients on their own, but when a great artist combines them, they create one of the most powerful and moving experiences we have. So, here's my challenge to you. The next time you put on a song you love, listen with these ingredients in mind. Don't just hear the music. Try to hear inside it. Can you separate the melody from the harmony? Can you identify the beat that drives it all forward? Now that you know the recipe, what new flavors will you discover?